Hi, good afternoon, and welcome to Video Solutions for LFP Investigation 3, the F1 section. There are only 5 questions, and you had lots of chances to review them, so hopefully watching the video and then practicing a little bit more in the Delta Math, you should be able to get these, and then when they show up on the next investigation, you should ace it. So the first one, number 18, a line's y-intercept is at -4. Its slope is 11.2. What's the line's equation in slope-intercept form? So first, we're going to look at the format that it should be in, y equals mx plus b. Remember, your m is your slope, your b is your y-intercept. They literally tell you that the slope is 11.2, so that's my m. They also tell me that my y-intercept, or my b, is -4. When I put those together in the format that we're looking for the linear equation, y equals 11.2 plus b, which is a -4. So if you have plus a negative, please make sure that you simplify, and your final answer should be, oops, I forgot my x on both of these. Geez Louise. Y equals 11.2x minus 4 is what your final answer should be. Make my square big enough either. Whew. On the fly editing. Number 19, a line with a slope of 3/4 passes through the point 7, -4. What's the line's equation in slope-intercept form? So again, they gave us our slope, or our m, and that's 3/4. And they gave us an x, which is 7, and a y, which is -4. So we're going to use the m, the x, and the y, and we're going to put those into y equals mx plus b. We're going to substitute the -4 for the y, the 3/4 for the m, the 7 for the x, and then we're going to solve for our y-intercept, or our b. So we get -4 is equal to 3/4 times 7 plus b. When I do the math, I get -4 is equal to 5.25 plus b. To get b alone, I need to subtract that 5.25 from both sides. And when I do that, I get a -9.25 for my b. So now I'm going to use that b for my y-intercept, and I'm going to use my m that they gave me, my slope, and I'm going to write my equation as y equals 3/4 x minus 9.25. Number 20, they give us 2 points, 5, -11, and -9, 17. And they tell us that they fall on a particular line. What's the equation for this in slope-intercept? So the first thing we have to do is find our slope. And we're going to do that by finding the change in y over the change in x. So if I go from 17 minus a -11 is 28. And then I have to go the same direction with my x's, -9 minus 5. -9 minus 5 is -14. When I do that division, I get -2. -2 is going to be my m, or my slope. I'm going to use that -2 with either point. I'm choosing to use 5, -11. I'm going to plug those, my y value, my x value, and my m value. So -11 is my y. M is -2. We found that up here. And x is 5. So -11 is equal to -2 times 5 plus b. When I do the math, I get -11 is equal to -10 plus b. To get b alone, I need to add a 10 to both sides. And when I do that, I get b is equal to -1. Using that information along with my slope that I found way back here at the beginning, -2, I'm going to write my equation. Y equals -2x minus 1. Number 21, Patricio has 739 baseball cards in his collection. So that would be his starting value, right? Every week he goes to the card shop and buys 2 packs of cards. That was an important piece that a lot of people missed. He's buying 2 packs of cards. So if each pack has 15 cards in it, how many new cards is he getting each week? He's getting 30 new cards each week. Not 2 packs, not 15 cards. He's getting 30 cards. So they want us to use, to find the total number of cards he has, T. So T is our total number of cards based on the number of weeks that have passed. And we're going to use a W for the number of weeks. So we're going to look at our slope. Again, I talked about this. It's 15 cards in a pack, but buying two packs a week, he gets a total of 30 cards each week. And so our starting value, 739, our slope 30, and we're going to use T and W for our variables. So our total number of cards is equal to 30 cards per week, plus that 739 cards that he started with. Our last problem, we had a graph, and they wanted us to write the equation in slope-intercept form. So I know that to find my slope, I'm going to look for my rise over my run when I'm doing this on a graph. And if I rise 9 and I run 3, it would be 9 divided by 3, which gives me a total of 3. Now, on a graph, I could look for where that line crosses the y-axis for my y-intercept, but this one, it doesn't show where it's going to cross. Some people say that they can do their slope. If slope is 3, they could go down 3 and left 1. That's fine if you want to find it that way. I found it algebraically or mathematically. Same way I've been doing before. I use the m value and one of my coordinates. So this time I'm going to use the coordinate 1, 0. So 0 is my y value. 3 is that slope that I found, rise over run. And 1 is my x value. When I do the math, I get 0 is equal to 3 plus b. I want b alone, so I'm going to get rid of that positive 3 by subtracting a 3 on both sides. And I end up with negative 3 is equal to b. So now I'm going to use that slope that I found at positive 3 and the y-intercept at negative 3 and write my equation. Y equals 3x minus 3. Just like always, if you have other questions that didn't get answered, please don't hesitate to come and see me during STAR or after school or even during class time when we have independent work. Come and ask me some questions. I want you to do well on these linear equations. So let's get this figured out. Have a great afternoon, and I will talk to you tomorrow.